It's been a long 12 years for negotiators from both the East African Community and the European Union who have had to sit and discuss the Economic Partnership Agreement, or EPAs, whose conclusion has looked like a mirage. And just like the mirage, 12 years on, they're still not yet done. But the government says the end is within sight as the clock counts down to the September 30th deadline. We have more.
After a decade of negotiations, the government could finalize the Economic Partnership Agreement talks with the European Union in the 11th hour. With less than a month to go to the deadline, the state says it will hold last-minute talks with the EU to try and conclude negotiations in 2 weeks. But it all boils down to one key issue that the EAC is not willing to budge on.
For taxes, and this is in the interest of the region that we remain firm on it. Because if we are not firm on it, it means that we will become a region that is a producer of raw materials for the EU.
Kibicho says the issue of taxes of export materials is a sovereign issue that cannot be subject to opinions from any other party.
If we sign carelessly, it means that should we want to stabilize our currencies through export taxes, then we have no window of doing that.
Another issue is the fact that Kenya is negotiating in a bloc within the EAC with countries that will not face the same consequences once the deadline lapses. Unlike Kenya, the rest of the countries in the EAC are classified as least developed countries.
Our other brothers and sisters in the region are OLDCs. We are not. To them, it is not as urgent as it is to us.
Kenya is in a race against time to have the EPAS ratified or risk having key exports such as flowers and horticulture attract an import duty to the EU, and many are urging the government to go it alone.
Signing of EPAS must also not kill our hopes of regional integration.
Instead, Kibicho says the government will proceed with the rest of the EAC with a meeting scheduled for East African ministers tomorrow and a planned meeting with the EU officials in Brussels on Monday. Adelaide Changole, KTN Business.